Hi guys, Daniel here. And for some housekeeping, you might have noticed if you watched my previous topic of the week video, or indeed this one, that there's no backing music track, which I've done in all my previous videos, and that's because just at home I sort of don't have the time and space to record very often. So I'm gonna have a go at recording on my phone out in the park near where I work during lunchtime, so I can get a little bit more done, and then I can sort of attach some pictures and so on my phone and make the video all during lunchtime. What it does mean is that there'll be a bit of a background noise. You can probably hear the road or some birds, maybe the odd whoosh of wind, and it also means I won't be able to edit out my mistakes or the many times I will say which I have been doing. But I'll see how it goes, and if it turns out well, I suppose I'll keep up with it. So this video is about my completion of my January pledge and then my pledge for February for the budget of Sigmar. So first up, the January pledge was to paint 12 Chaos Warriors, and so I'll go through some pictures of them here. I'm really happy with the colour scheme. I know I've gotten some comments about people being not quite liking it, thinking it's too bright, or liking the colours and thinking I should have perhaps blended them in different orders, but I'm happy with it, so I suppose that's all that matters. I did get a comment from, I think it was Vince in the previous PMP on the test model that I put up, and he suggested to blend the purple and the blue areas on the cloak a bit more, like what I had done with the green. So I've tried to incorporate that into this full batch of models that I've done, and I think it's turned out pretty well. The one thing you might notice is that the standard bearer doesn't have an arm. It's because it somehow fell off my table under my desk, and I pretty much didn't notice it until I came to stick all the shields on right at the end, and there was one too few. So that will be painted in the coming month and added on later on. So my pledge for February will be to paint 5 Chaos Knights. I had aimed to do this during January, but I didn't quite get the time to do it. I'm a pretty slow painter, and I probably only get a chance to paint for a couple of hours a couple of times a week, so just didn't get the time to do it. So that is what my pledge for February will be, along with one of 3 converted or scratch built models that I plan to do. I have been waiting on them, on a whole pile of bits to arrive in the post to even get started on them, but I just got a message from Australia Post that they've arrived at my parcel locker, so whoop-de-fucking-do, I can get going. So the first one, which I'll probably leave for next month because it's a bit bigger, will be to convert a 2-headed Chaos Dragon and give him a mount. So it's a Lord on Dragon, or I suppose Manticore is the rules now, isn't it? And for the Lord, I'm planning on using the Vec model from the Age of Sigmar starter, because he's pretty nurgly, and I've already planned how I'm going to pretty much take the corn off him and add the nurgle. So that one's planned out, and like I said, I'll probably do that for next month. The second one is to convert another Lord Vec model to be riding a Plague Toad to use as a Lord on demonic mount. I think the standing sort of pose will work quite well, so rather than sitting in a saddle on the Toad, he'll be sort of standing up, almost surfing on it and holding onto the horn with his outstretched hand. So I think that'll look pretty cool. And then the third one is to scratch build a War Shrine of Nurgle. Now there's a bit of an Amazon theme going on in my army. I've got the arrow frog themed Plague Toads, and some of the bases will have forest things on them, and even sort of small bricky ruins, because I've got a huge pile of model bricks. So the idea for the shrine is to build almost an Aztec sacrificial pit type of shrine. So there'll be a goo pit up the front with the spare head from the unclean one emerging from it. So it looks like the aim is that the goo is almost taking the form of a demon. And then the rear of the throne will have a stepped pyramid with a Nurgle icon on top. And then I've got some Skaven plague monks that I think will look really cool as the attendants for them. And then for the underside, for how it moves around, I suppose wheels in a jungle wouldn't quite work so well. So my idea is to have a bit of a portal on the bottom, sort of a counteract to the goo pit on top, and have a bunch of tentacles coming out of that. So it's almost like there's a demon coming out of this portal to move the war shrine around, and I think that'll look pretty cool. So I'm excited to get started on that one. And so I'll probably do the Lord on Toad and war shrine conversions this month. I'll probably make the conversions, but I'm not sure which one I'll paint. Probably the Lord on Toad, because that one's a bit simpler, so I'm likely to finish that one first. Alright, I'll leave it at that. So my pledge is a unit of 5 knights, and I'll call it the demonic mounted Lord on Plague Toad. And hopefully I'll be posting those pictures up by the end of the month. Cheers.